Okay. I now call the regular session of Findlay City Council on December 16th, 2025 to order. We will start this evening's meeting with roll call, followed by a pledge of allegiance and a moment of silence.
Mr. Ballman?
Here.
Mr. DeArmond?
Aye.
Ms. Frischie?
Here.
Mr. Greeno?
Here.
Mr. Hellman?
Here.
Mr. Niemeyer?
Here.
Mr. Palmer?
Here.
Mr. Russell?
Here.
Ms. Warnicki?
Here.
Mr. Wobser?
Present.
Will you please stand for the pledge of allegiance, followed by a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I will entertain a motion to approve the November 18th and December 2nd City Council meeting minutes. Mr. Palmer, second. Mr. Hellman, discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay. They are approved. Do we have any add-ons, replacements to tonight's Mr. Russell?
One add-on letter from Mayor Mern concerning the removal of Section 8 from Resolution 028-2028. Move that be added to the reports of municipal officers and municipal departments section.
Second, Mr. Palmer, discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor of the addition say aye. Any opposed, nay. That will be added. We have no proclamations, retirement resolutions, recognitions, petitions. We have two written public communications.
An email with attached thank you letter from Crystal Weitz from HHWP Community Action Commission regarding the city's support of public transit and monetary commitment.
Questions or comments? Letter be filed.
An email from Lindsay Stewart regarding the opposition to farm animal ordinance.
Questions or comments? Letter to be filed. We have no utility or contractor communications, written or oral. Now the reports of municipal offices and departments.
Findlay Fire Department activities report for November 2025.
Questions or comments? Report to be filed.
City income tax monthly collections report for November 2025.
Report to be filed.
Findlay Police Department activities report for November 2025.
Report to be filed.
Treasurer's reconciliation report for November 2025.
Report to be filed.
Findlay Municipal Court activities report for November 2025.
Report to be filed.
City Planning Commission agenda of December 11th, 2025, as well as the staff report of December 11th, 2025, and the minutes of November 13th, 2025.
Both the agenda, staff report, and minutes will all be filed.
Summary financial reports for November 30th, 2025.
Summary be filed.
Letter from City Engineer Kalb regarding ODOT fiscal year 26, Han Lima Avenue, PID 122980, project number 32853300.
Questions or comments? Letter be filed.
Letter from City Auditor Stashak regarding year-end items to transfer or appropriate. He asked that the first paragraph be read.
Mr. Palmer?
Motion to have the first paragraph read into the record.
Second, Mr. Greeno. Discussion. All those in favor say aye. Any opposed, nay. Please read that portion.
The following accounts require an appropriation or a transfer for this budget year so that the city may remain in compliance with Ohio Revised Code and audit. It is important that the rules be suspended and legislation for these transfers be passed at your December 16th meeting in order to remain in compliance. I have listed below the amount of each request and the corresponding reason for the appropriation or transfer.
Questions or comments? Letter to be filed.
I know. Letter from Director of Law Feigner regarding motion to reconsider rule or procedure.
Questions or comments? Letter to be filed.
Add-on
Go ahead.
Add-on letter from Mayor Mern regarding removing Section 8 sunsetting from Resolution 28, 2025.
Let her be filed.
Got a question. Hands up.
Mr. Stashek.
I wondered if this would be added or dropped. And I want to note for the record and for the benefit primarily of the new council members coming in, by not sunsetting this particular paragraph, which is fine. I have no issue with that either way. I want to make you aware on the record that there is another tool that's available. Essentially, what this does is, for the benefit of everyone, is we are waiving a difference in the taxable value. In other words, the new growth in tax is getting removed and is not collected. However, there is a tool that's become more popular around the state called a new community authority, or an NCA is what it goes by. This NCA gives governments, like the city of Findlay, the ability to say, okay, we will allow you to participate in this CRA. However, there are going to be some rules you have to follow, and it's possible that during the following of those rules, we may collect back at least a portion of that with help with infrastructure or other items. This is going to become a significant topic, I'm sure, after the first of the year. I share it with the current members just for the benefit. There are some other tools available to us. We're going to need to explore them and understand them. And with regard to this particular item, I think it's worth noting since that has been kind of sunset.
Let her be filed. Committee reports, we have none. Legislation. Let's start with the resolution.
First reading for Resolution 32, 2025, a resolution transferring funds within appropriated funds and declaring an emergency.
Mr. DeArmond.
Make a motion to suspend the rules to give Resolution 03225 its second and third reading to close out the year.
Right. Second, Mr. Baumann. All those in favor of suspension of the rules, say aye if your name is called. Those opposed, nay.
Mr. Ballman?
Aye.
Mr. DeArmond?
Aye.
Ms. Frishy?
Aye.
Mr. Greeno?
Aye.
Mr. Hellman?
Aye.
Mr. Niemeyer?
Aye.
Mr. Palmer?
Aye.
Mr. Russell?
Aye.
Ms. Warnicki?
Aye.
Mr. Wobser?
Rules of council have been suspended, and the clerk will give this resolution its second and third reading.
Resolution 32, 2025. Resolution 32, 2025.
Mr. Wobser.
Make a motion to approve.
Second, Mr. Greeno. Discussion. All those in favor of the resolution, say aye if your name is called. Those opposed, nay.
Mr. DeArmond?
Aye.
Ms. Frishy?
Aye.
Mr. Greeno?
Aye.
Mr. Hellman?
Aye.
Mr. Niemeyer?
Aye.
Mr. Palmer?
Aye.
Mr. Russell?
Aye.
Ms. Warnicki?
Aye.
Mr. Wobser?
Aye.
Mr. Ballman?
The resolution is adopted. Ordinances. This first ordinance on farm animal, we have one person that'd like to speak to this, Antonia. Ms. Faison.
Hello. Hi, my name is Antonia Faison, and I have been a Findlay resident for 54 years, and I've been active in this community for over 20. I have served in various capacities and still do. Just recently, I ran for a city council at-large position due to the many concerns I've had over how the city is being run. I'm here to tell you I'm not a fan of the farm animal ordinance. My main reason is this ordinance came about to implement rules on Findlay City residents, not because there were issues, simply because other cities have similar rules in place. I've been attending city council meetings periodically for the last several years. In one of the most recent meetings, the animal ordinance was being discussed and questions were being asked. Why do we need this ordinance? Have there been issues or reasons why this ordinance needed to be created? With the response of not really, but possibly in the past. I found this disturbing because there hasn't been any issues, but for some reason this council feels it necessary to implement rules on its residents just for the sake of it. If anything, we need less government oversight and not more. You are all here because city residents voted you in and trust you will do the right thing when it comes to local issues. Why would you impose rules without having a reason for doing it? Have you personally asked your constituents if they are okay with these new rules? Are they okay with receiving a misdemeanor if they don't follow the rules you want to impose and just for the sake of it? As a council member, you are not here so you can impose your rules on your constituents. You are here to make sure the city runs smoothly and make sure the bills get paid. I'm asking you to drop this ordinance because it isn't necessary.
Thank you. Okay, read the ordinance.
Third reading for ordinance number 2025-154, an ordinance establishing clear, consistent, and fair regulations for the keeping of farm animals in the city.
Mr. Baumann,
Make a motion for passage.
second Mr. DeArmond. Discussion? All those in favor of the ordinance say aye. If your name is called, those opposed, nay.
Ms. Frischi,
Nay.
Mr. Greeno,
Nay.
Mr. Hellman,
Aye.
Mr. Niemeyer,
Nay.
Mr. Palmer,
Nay.
Mr. Russell,
Aye.
Ms. Warnicki,
Aye.
Mr. Wobser,
Nay.
Mr. Ballman,
Aye.
and Mr. DeArmond.
Aye.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Five, five.
5. So you have to split it?
My God, I get to vote. And I vote aye.
So the ordinance is adopted, correct?
The ordin-
Can
Okay.
I
Next.
ask a question?
No? What's the question?
On that ordinance, did it have, emergency clause on it? I don't have it in front of me.
No.
So it would allow if somebody wanted to referendum it. Thank you.
Okay, next.
Third reading for ordinance 2025-162 as amended. An ordinance amending Chapter 1100 et sec of the codified ordinances of the City of Findlay, Ohio, known as the zoning code, by rezoning the following described property referred to as 300 West Front Street rezone, which previously was zoned R3 small lot residential to C3 downtown commercial.
Okay, we had the two that spoke at the public hearing. I think, Tom, you want to speak again?
I would like to speak again.
Okay, and then Ron, he says no. Okay, all right. Tom, come on up.
Get rid of unnecessary paperwork. Again, I'm Tom Demuth, and I do have a property down on Front Street for this. First of all, I'd like to thank all of our outgoing council people for their service. It's been fun. Let's put it that way. It's been interesting. We've had quite a bit of interaction over the years. I'm not entirely against the C3 designation. I'm just against having bars or adult establishments, bars, liquors, distillery that could blow up at any time. There are families close to there. One house to the west is, I think, within like 6 feet of this building. You know, there's kids that play back in there. I don't know, there's not much room for parking. If they're wanting to put 50 people in there, I mean, it's going to park up the street, which is like they're allowed to do. It happens when the Marathon Center has events. I mean, we can't stop that. But I just don't think that's the right place to have an adult establishment. Like I said previously, some of the meeting minutes and the general information were misleading as far as who's around there, what's around there. It just says C3 downtown commercial. Well, it's not a strip mall, it's not stores, it's nothing. It's people living there. I don't know about any other bars around, what regulations they have for being near new regulations, not grandfathered, for being near residential areas and stuff like that. Like I said, the staff recommended it be denied. They evidently seen something that they didn't like. Some of the voting members, it looked like they were kind of questioning, you know, is this a good place for it? But voted yes anyway. And I do believe if they want to keep putting C3 business zoning near residential areas,
I do believe they do need to update their permitted and conditional use. So we could have a C3 business there. We could have a beauty salon or something like that in there, which would fit a lot better. That's pretty much all I have.
Mr. Wilson?
Tom, appreciate your comments. I would suspect there's few people in the city that know the city as well as you do when it comes to, especially where all the traffic lights are at. That neighborhood, and you said you've got a rental down there, is that correct? Or you live down there?
It's going to be a rental. It is not a rental yet.
You're in the process.
In the process.
Okay. In that situation there, I mean, you just made a comment at the end of your comments that it would be better off as a beauty salon
Beauty
or
salon,
something,
barber
something
shop,
like that versus
something-
yeah, and I think that makes sense. But we've got a lot of areas around town where this is happening, right? Tiffin Avenue is a great example, right? You've got between what used to be Colonel Sanders and all the way down, all those houses, now they're slowly becoming commercial lots also.
Correct.
So in this neighborhood, though, what's your thoughts? I mean, is this where this needs to end? Do we just stop it there, or do you let it take its natural course from the performing arts? And, you've got the little sundry gift shop that's, thank you.
Yeah, that's down to the
Yeah, it's
to the
down a
east
couple
further.
places, yeah. What's your thoughts there?
I mean, a lot of that area is rentals, so it's hard to tell what landlords are gonna do if businesses are gonna want to go in there. They're pretty small lots to be putting a business in the housing. Ron is not going to leave. He's not going to sell out. I doubt the piano teacher on the corner. I don't know if he would do that. He's been around for a long time. I used to deliver papers to him when I was yay high.
Very good. Thank you.
Mr. DeArmond?
Tom, I guess my concern, I was in support of this, and the reason why is because you've got a dilapidated structure. I mean, it needs a lot of investment.
It does.
Putting in a barber shop is not going to have a pro forma that is going to be able to pay for the type of investment this is going to need, nor is a rental. So you've got your choice between putting in a legitimate business or watching this property decay. And that's why I was in favor of it. I mean, it's not ideal, and it was a difficult decision, I understand. But that's why I'm going to support this.
Yeah, I just don't think an adult entertainment or adult venue is correct for this place. Yeah. I mean, I'm not against the C3. I'm not against having a little shop like they have down there, few doors down, having something like that, having an antique dealer, having something in it.
If those businesses can make enough money it's a significant investment.
So do you think a distillery that could blow up?
Well, come on. Have we had a lot of distilleries blowing up?
We have a lot of distilleries in town? Are there two? Those are breweries, not distilleries. There's a difference.
All right. Do we have a history of distilleries blowing up across America?
Yes. Matter of fact, I believe they do. I'm surprised that the fire department didn't say anything about it, probably because they have, I don't know, they have no training in it or nothing. They've never seen it before. I don't know.
Let's
But
let the
when
mayor talk here.
Okay.
So, Tom, appreciate the comments, and Matt, feel free to jump in if I say anything incorrectly, because we had a lot of discussion about this topic at City Planning Commission, and so I want to just distinguish two things, because the conditional use for a distillery would still have to go through City Planning Commission. They would have to have site plan, they would have the fire department review of their proposal. So we really are just looking at the C3, and we talked about, okay, within the C3 district, did we feel comfortable with what that would allow? And that really was, little shops, it was barber shops, it was some of those small businesses that we felt were still conducive to the neighborhood. So I think it's just important to distinguish that. Just because this rezone occurs, yes, it is at the big, the request of someone who is looking to do that, but there's still a whole nother step that they would have to go through to potentially put that in this space. Because I know in our meeting, we were like, wait, does it allow it, does it not allow it? And we did confirm that it does not automatically allow it. So it would be consistent with not just allowing a bar to go in here, but like small retail establishments. So I just wanted to clarify that. Matt?
You're correct, and the applicants are here if there's any questions.
Yeah. The applicants are here as well.
Well, there was
Just a
something
second.
in the,
Just a second.
okay.
We're going to let council speak here. Ms. Frishy.
If he can finish his statement since we're in the middle of something, that's fine.
In your notes, you asked Eric to see what the conditional uses were. And he lists bars, taverns, and nightclubs as conditional uses. Your zoning ordinance says that they are permitted uses.
Yeah, Matt, because I know there was confusion at the meeting. Matt was looking at or not Matt, Eric was looking at a wrong list at one point, so.
I was texting staff, and they just replied, and they confirmed. We're viewing this as not a bar, tavern, or nightclub, but a distillery. A distillery is not listed as a permitted use. Thus, all other uses are considered conditional. So if the rezoning goes through, they will have to go to City Planning Commission for their conditional use. So that is confirmed.
I guess though, to Tom's point, a different bar could go in there though.
Correct. And just clarification, there are 3 parcels to the east. There are 4 parcels to the east. 3 are residential, 1 is C2 commercial, and then the rest of the north side of Front Street is C3 downtown district, and then all the properties to the south are C3 downtown district.
And at City Planning Commission, we did hear from the immediately west property owner that he was fine with the project. I don't think Mr. Ron was the owner of that property.
East to the east.
Yeah, so the one property immediately next to it, just sharing that piece of
That's
information.
a rental property.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks, guys. Ms. Frishy?
So to clarify for me, Tom, you always do a great job advocating in the community, but the parcel to the west is a rental
The parcels.
parcels, and then and then east is you. So north and south, what's on
The north side has the townhouses, and then there's also rental properties
okay.
there for
And-
families.
And we don't have the Dora district in that area, correct?
No, that ends at the Marathon Center.
And I guess, I agree with you on changing this zoning. I don't think it's appropriate at this time. I know that Dan talked about an investment and dilapidated structure, and the only way you're gonna make your money back is that way. But I guess I would just ask council tonight before, I back up onto Tiffin Avenue, my neighborhood's back in there. And that's always been commercial, it's a thoroughfare. If you choose to live right behind it, you get some lights, you get some noise, but I would just ask all of council to really consider, hey, if you lived in that neighborhood or you had a family member live there, would you want the possibility of a distillery or a bar type atmosphere in your neighborhood? My answer is no for me, so we'll see where it goes tonight.
Okay, thanks. Motion?
No motion yet.
All right. There's no motion, it's just been read. Mr. Russell.
Motion to approve.
Second, Mr. DeArmond. Further discussion, Mr. Russell.
Matt, could you clarify the Hancock Regional Planning's position on this? Because I believe while it was initially a no, that changed, the recommendation changed as a result of more information?
No, so we are the staff for City Planning
Yeah.
Commission. For each item, We look at it and we make a recommendation. Jacob, the other planner in the office, we discussed it a lot. We were on the fence. And really, it's an extension, it's contiguous with the C3 district at one point, not 2 points. So they have neighbors that are not in the C3 district. So we went back and forth, and generally when in doubt, we usually, I don't know. It was close. We ended up recommending no. The City Planning Commission, then we have the meeting, and the property owners came up and gave a long description of what they plan to do.
Not the property owners, the people who are, it's not Rossi that was there. It
They
was
would be
the
purchasing
potential
the property.
purchasers, yeah.
And they described a boutique, limited hours, low traffic type situation. And I think that, I can't speak for the Planning Commission, but hearing them describe the proposed use was what probably convinced the Planning Commission to vote yes. We simply make a recommendation. It was also discussed, it's been a funeral home. It's been many different businesses over the last 60, 70 years. That was another piece of information that I thought the Planning Commission found helpful.
Has there been,
Hang on a second. Ms. Frishy, go ahead.
has there been anything similar to what they're describing they want to do in the last 50 or 60 years? I mean, a funeral home is normal to be backing up into residential, so what else has been over there?
I don't recall. What?
Oh,
Oh, an HVAC business.
is that what it was last?
Mr. Russell?
Well, for the longest time, Kelly and Sons, which was a general contractor, was located there, and I know that because I visited his establishment at that location, and also Allsbrook Smith having the piano, doing piano lessons across the street. So I'm familiar with the property.
Mr. Niemeyer?
I think the last business in there was, I think it was called Findlay Typewriter, where a man fixed adding machines, typewriters, small, before the computer age.
So
Ms. Frishy?
how are they addressing the parking and stuff for something like this
So
with setbacks? And
there's approximately 6 to 8 parking spots available in the rear. There is a parking lot at the rear. Some of it's overgrown with dirt and things. It's been abandoned for probably 7 to 10 years is my guess. And then there are no parking standards within the C3 district. It's designed for a dense urban type atmosphere.
even though we're not dense urban.
Mr. Hellman?
Yeah. Matt, do you know whether or not this has ever been residential in the past 15 years?
It's been empty.
It's currently zoned residential.
Has it ever been used as residential? Do you know?
I think it has been rented out, yes.
And I mean, I've been on the fence with this ever since we saw the presentation, which I thought was excellent, and it's a great idea. But personally, I think it's a great idea in the wrong place, and it gives me a little bit of heartburn to have to approve something like this that has a lot of questions in my mind in order to bail out the owner that didn't put any money in it for 10, 15 years. And that's just what sort of sits in my craw and is a little bit unfortunate, but that's just how I feel. So
Sure. No, there
if
are
you could
some
say
that
something
are,
to make me change my mind, I would.
I'm not here to advocate either way. I'm
understand.
here to just explain kind of the rules and the process.
I hear you.
This is not, there are more clear-cut rezonings than this one.
Thank you.
Mr. Russell?
Matt, can you speak to a little bit more of what is permitted use in C3? Because I know from my time on Board of Zoning Appeals and Planning Commission, it's not the good intent of the current proposal that is worrisome. It's the next folks, and I think that there's some valid concerns on that the next owners turn it into not so good of an establishment.
Sure. So with a rezoning, you cannot put a condition on, we will rezone it to C3 long as you don't put a bar or tavern there. And someone can make a huge presentation at the rezoning that says, I'm doing this, this, and this. They are not legally obligated to do that. So you always look at the worst case scenario. And we always do that by looking at the permitted uses and how that might fit into the neighborhood. So C3 permitted uses are professional services, libraries, restaurants, art and antique shops, bakeries, retail, bed and breakfast, bookstores, bars, taverns, nightclubs, coffee shops, convenience stores, craft supplies, dance studios, daycare centers, dry cleaning, flower shops, food retailing, hardware stores, health services, ice cream shops, beauty salon, barber shops, sidewalk cafes, veterinary clinic, taxi services, retail trade, motels, hotels, cinemas, theaters, commercial, schools, clubs, financial institutions, parking lots, entertainment uses, government uses. Conditional uses are residential, automotive sales, electrical vehicle charging stations, and any other use not listed above. So that's where we kind of fall in with their proposed use of a distillery. It's not permitted, so it's a conditional use. All conditional uses must go to Planning Commission. There is a world where this goes to Planning Commission, the use of a distillery is denied. It's still C3, but they can't move forward with their project. But it's still C3.
Mayor?
And I would just add, that was a discussion point as well. And again, we went back and forth a couple of times at the meeting, and that was a point that was brought up, is that the commission wants to review all of the permitted uses in C3 to tighten it up and make a couple more of those to be conditional, specifically the bars and taverns being a conditional, so that we do have more control as we see different parts of the community be C3. So I'm really supportive either way on this one, because I see it would be a great establishment, but obviously zoning, you do have to look into the future.
Mr. Russell?
Matt, have you heard from the folks that are looking to run this distillery? I knew they were going to do some more due diligence on the building, that they weren't even sure that they could go forward based on the condition of the building. Have you heard from them and hear any update on where they're at?
They've been very diligent. They've been to all 3 readings of this, and they are here tonight. If you'd like to discuss it with them, you could hear directly from them.
Right behind
Yep. You want to come up, introduce yourself, and answer any questions they might have? Go ahead. Make the red light still on?
Yep.
Yep. All right.
Okay. Thank you for all hearing us. My name is Sam Galick. This is my wife, Carrie Connon. And did you introduce yourself?
I'm the realtor, Sammy.
Yeah. Okay. So first off, thank you very much for hearing us and posing your questions. We'll say that by no means are we coming in trying to cause a big scene. We're just trying to bring, hopefully, we feel like a good idea to the community. We want to be part of the community and help make it better. And the gentleman who spoke, I will say they have valid concerns. Just getting notified that this is what's taking place here. I will tell you that, one, due to the space, let me answer the question just first off, is that if the zoning is passed and the conditional use is approved, we are prepared to move forward. So to answer that question, sir. Next, and to answer any questions about, what our project plans to entail, it is a small, low-volume craft micro distillery. I know those definitions are kind of nebulous, but bottom line is low volume. We expect low foot traffic overall. It'll be a luxury establishment, meaning there isn't going to be drinks and drink specials and make it a bar. We're talking about a small craft distillery for those who are aware of the industry, and with a tasting room. And to start off, ideally, eventually, we would like to be able to serve cocktails. It wouldn't be open every night. It would be open, maybe 2 nights a week, maybe in the future to be open for special events for the Marathon Performing Arts Center. So someone could have a luxury cocktail, maybe before or after. That's talking way in the future.
Other
Trying to be-
questions
To be
for-
brief. Excuse me, please.
Wait, Mr. Niemeyer came in with a late one.
Well, in the conversation earlier, a month ago in the committee meeting, the zoning might be good, but there's other contingencies, if you don't mind me saying this,
Yeah.
in this sale of the property. I mean, things go to, I think, you said Wood County won't even have electric service there until the wire's updated and all this stuff, and a roof leaks, and somebody's gonna dump a bunch of money in there. I mean, I was in business for 50 years, and it's, some things are feasible, some aren't. But having it zoned better, I think that's just advantageous for that property.
Ms. Fritchie?
So I don't know you. I've seen you come to our meetings. Thanks for coming. So tell me a little bit about you. Are you guys local to Findlay? Are you new to Findlay? Have you done a distillery before? Have you done a restaurant? Are you just jumping in blind?
No, great questions, ma'am. Thank you. So originally, my wife and I were from Putnam County originally. I was in the Army for 20 years, retired, moved back. We live out west of town. So we don't live in Findlay proper. We have a Findlay address, but we're technically in Macomb School District. So, we hope to have an establishment here in your great city. As far as Carrie is trained, she went to school for distilling and has worked in the food industry. We have not run a business like this before, so this will be new. However, again, this will be a small, low-volume business. Just by the nature of the size, anyone it's seen the distilling industry, there's not a lot of space in the back, so it is by nature going to be small. Yes, sir.
Mr. Webster?
What are you going to distill?
So it'll be, are you talking about the end product?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So there will be a variety of, like your corn-based, like whiskey-type drinks. There'll also be, so from time living in Japan, Carrie has really grown fond of shochu. So introducing some of the Asian techniques using koji to make spirits here, small batch. Not real common in the States. It's starting to take off, but so.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
those kind of things. Yes, sir.
Hang on, Mr. Russell?
So if you're doing whiskeys, is there a barrel house involved in this, or is that basement, or?
No, by the rules, it's 500 proof gallons is all you're allowed to have at this level on site, without having a separate barrel house or rick house.
Okay.
So that would be the max that you can have, like total, whether in barrels or being processed. So that
Okay.
it would be like the equivalent of
All right,
10
thank you.
barrels. Sorry.
Thank you for coming up and answering some questions. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor of the ordinance, say aye if your name is called. Those opposed, nay.
Mr. Greeno?
Wait a minute. Mr. President, we still had people had questions back here.
Oh, I thought that was all done. And who is that? Me. Oh, okay.
Don't leave Grant out.
I can't think what it was. Nah, well,
Okay, all those in favor, say aye. Those opposed, nay.
Mr. Greeno?
nay.
Mr. Hellman?
Nay.
Mr. Niemeyer?
Reluctantly.
Mr. Palmer?
Aye.
Mr. Russell?
Aye.
Ms. Warnicki?
Nay.
Mr. Wobser?
Nay.
Mr. Ballman?
Aye.
Mr. DeArmond?
Aye.
Mr. Frishy?
Nay.
Sean, you're so important tonight.
Boy.
I vote A. Let's move on.
You move what?
Aye.
Aye.
Let's move on.
Just a second, I gotta make a note here. Yeah. Tiebreaker guy tonight.
I know, it's never happened.
Second reading for ordinance number 2025-168, and ordinance appropriating and transferring funds and declaring an emergency.
Mr. Palmer,
I move that council's statutory rules be suspended and this ordinance be given its third reading.
second Mr. Baumann. All those in favor of the suspension of the rules, say aye if your name is called. Those opposed, nay.
Mr. Hellman.
Aye.
Mr. Niemeyer.
Aye.
Mr. Palmer.
Aye.
Mr. Russell.
Aye.
Ms. Warnicki.
Aye.
Mr. Wobser. Mr. Baumann.
Aye.
Mr. DeArmond.
Aye.
Ms. Frishy.
Aye.
Mr. Greeno.
Aye.
Rules of council been suspended, and the clerk will give this ordinance its third reading.
Ordinance number 2025-168.
Mr. Palmer,
Move for adoption of ordinance number 2025-168.
second Mr. Greeno. Discussion. Hearing none. All those in favor of the ordinance, say aye if your name is called. Those opposed, nay.
Mr. Niemeyer.
Aye.
Mr. Palmer.
Aye.
Mr. Russell.
Aye.
Ms. Warnicki.
Aye.
Mr. Wobser.
Aye.
Mr. Baumann.
Aye.
Mr. DeArmond.
Aye.
Ms. Frishy.
Aye.
Mr. Greeno.
Aye.
and Mr. Hellman.
Aye.
The ordinance is adopted.
First reading for ordinance number 2025-170, an ordinance appropriating and transferring funds and declaring an emergency.
Mr. Russell,
Move that council statutory rules be suspended and ordinance 2025-170 be given its second and third reading.
second Mr. Baumann. All those in favor of suspension of the rules, say aye if your name is called. Those opposed, nay.
Mr. Palmer.
Aye.
Mr. Russell.
Aye.
Ms. Warnicki.
Aye.
Mr. Wobser.
Aye.
Mr. Baumann.
Aye.
Mr. DeArmond.
Aye.
Ms. Frishy.
Aye.
Mr. Greeno.
Aye.
Mr. Hellman.
Aye.
And Mr. Niemeyer.
Aye.
Rules of council been suspended, and the clerk will give this ordinance its second and third reading.
Ordinance number 2025-170. Ordinance number 2025-170.
Mr. Greeno,
Move for adoption of ordinance 2025-170.
second Mr. DeArmond. Discussion. All those in favor of the ordinance, say aye if your name is called. Those opposed, nay.
Mr. Russell.
Aye.
Ms. Warnicki.
Aye.
Mr. Wobser.
Aye.
Mr. Baumann.
Aye.
Mr. DeArmond.
Aye.
Ms. Frishy.
Aye.
Mr. Greeno.
Aye.
Mr. Hellman.
Aye.
And Mr. Niemeyer.
Aye.
The ordinance is adopted.
Do I get to vote?
Judge,
No.
I'd like,
Mr. Palmer?
Aye.
Thank you.
First reading for ordinance number 2025-171, an ordinance appropriating and transferring funds and declaring an emergency.
Mr. Wobser,
Make a motion to suspend. Rules and give this the second, third reading.
thank you. Mr. DeArmond, second. All those in favor of the suspension of the rules, say after your name is called. Those opposed, nay.
Ms. Warnicki.
Aye.
Mr. Wobser.
Aye.
Mr. Baumann.
Aye.
Mr. DeArmond.
Aye.
Ms. Frishy.
Aye.
Mr. Greeno.
Aye.
Mr. Hellman.
Aye.
Mr. Niemeyer.
aye.
Mr. Palmer.
Aye.
And Mr. Russell.
Aye.
Rules have been suspended, and the clerk will give this ordinance its second and third reading.
Ordinance number 2025-171. Ordinance number 2025-171.
Mr. Palmer,
Move to approve ordinance number 2025-171.
second. Mr. Hellman, discussion. All those in favor of the ordinance, say aye after your name is called. Those opposed, nay.
Mr. Wobser.
Aye.
Mr. Baumann.
Aye.
Mr. DeArmond.
Aye.
Ms. Frishy.
Aye.
Mr. Greeno.
Aye.
Mr. Hellman.
Aye.
Mr. Niemeyer.
Aye.
Mr. Palmer.
Aye.
Mr. Russell.
Aye.
Ms. Warnicki.
Aye.
The ordinance is adopted. Unfinished business. Mr. Russell,
Make a motion to reconsider resolution 028-2025.
second. Mr. Baumann. All those in favor of reconsideration, say aye if your name is called. Those opposed, nay.
Mr. Baumann.
Aye.
Mr. DeArmond.
Aye.
Ms. Frishy.
Nay.
Mr. Greeno.
Aye.
Mr. Hellman.
Aye.
Mr. Niemeyer.
Aye.
Mr. Palmer.
Aye.
Mr. Russell.
Aye.
Ms. Warnicki.
Aye.
Mr. Wobser.
Aye.
The motion to reconsider is approved. Mr. Russell,
I make a motion to amend resolution 028-2025 by removing section 8 of the resolution. And if the law director wishes that the other numbers be renumbered so they are in numerical order.
I think we're prepared to, whatever amendments the council adopts tonight, the clerk, with my supervision, will have that revised before it's signed, and it's what council votes on.
Okay, thank you. So then the motion is to remove Section 8 of the resolution.
Second, Mr. DeArmond. All those, or discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor? Oh, one, okay, Ms. Frishy.
The CRA is not something that the community overly understands on a daily basis. It doesn't even enter their mind as something that they want to come to council and talk about. But the Community Reinvestment Act was put in place to address blighted properties. And the year that I came onto council, outgoing councilman Shadle, they passed it at the end of the year to make the entire city a CRA. And when they did that, it was for the benefit of Marathon, benefit of economic development, to allow for those abatements on property taxes. And that's not what a CRA is for. Since then, that CRA has expanded and expanded, but it wasn't being expanded at the state to increase those maps. So when we had McLean and Campbell's Soup and DHL and all those folks over there, when we annexed them into the city, we just went ahead and gave a CRA when we had not updated our mapping to allow for it. We were the only city in the state of Ohio, to my knowledge, until recently, that had an entire city CRA. It's being abused, it's out of control, and it needs to stop. It's a bad economic development tool. It's used in a way that it's not meant for. Those areas are not blighted. Our blighted areas were my ward, Bernard Park, is where they originally had one at. And out by Cooper, Tire West Park had one back in the day. There's a reason for them to encourage redevelopment in a blighted area. But when we don't have a blighted area, we're just using the tool improperly. I am a no on anything with regards to the CRA at this point. Everything that's been going on is inappropriate, and it's a bad tool being abused by economic development.
Mr. Hellman.
John, if I may, I guess I'd just like to correct Ms. Frishy in some of her comments in that in my previous life, I'm quite familiar with community reinvestment areas, and at least one city that has had the entire city put in those kinds of districts. Granted, they might have been challenged economically, but rightfully so then to use a CRA. So, and I don't know the specifics of what she's talking about here, but I just wanted to correct the record that there are areas that have used this in the state of Ohio years ago and even continuing to do so. Thanks.
All those in favor of the ordinance say aye after your name is called. Those opposed, nay.
That was out of all respect for you.
Mayor?
Sorry, I just want to make one quick note. The map that is included with, are you guys still on the reconsideration or the actual?
Yeah, we're on the
You're
amendment.
voting on it. Okay, I just wanted to clarify that there was one property at least that we have recently annexed that is not shown on the map, but the boundaries will be set at that point in time. So the Cole property will be included when the map is submitted to the state at the time of adoption. So I just wanted to point that out.
What is the Cole property location?
It's the property just north of McLean, just south of County Road 99.
Okay, so I've been informed that the motion and the second was to amend, not to approve. Okay, so all those in favor of the amended, that Mr. Russell and I think Mr. DeArmond was the second. One moment, let me finish. All those in favor of that, say aye after your name is called. Those opposed.
Can you just clarify the amendment and what it's?
It was section 8.
Well, removing is what that means.
It
and
removes
as a
section 8.
whole.
That's the
Mr. Russell.
setting.
I made the motion to remove Section 8. Section 8 was something that sunsetted the CRA for commercial development after at the end of 2026. And yeah, so that's what Section 8 did, and that's what my motion was, to remove that sunsetting.
So,
All those in favor of the amendment say aye if your name is called. Those opposed, nay.
Mr. DeArmond?
Aye.
Ms. Frishy?
Nay.
Mr. Greeno?
Aye.
Mr. Hellman?
Aye.
Mr. Niemeyer?
Aye.
Mr. Palmer?
Aye.
Mr. Russell?
Aye.
Ms. Warnicki?
Aye.
Mr. Wobser?
Aye.
Mr. Ballman?
Aye.
The amendment is adopted. Mr. Russell.
Move for adoption of Resolution 028-2025 as amended.
Second, Mr. Baumann. Discussion. Mr. Russell.
In 2013, I took over or filled an unexpired term for a ward council seat, and this is one of the first things that I worked on. There's two parts to the CRA. One is for commercial development. The other part is for residential, and I think upwards of 40 or 50 properties, individual property owners have taken advantage of the CRA, allowing them to reinvest in their properties, either adding rooms or doing major renovations, and we're able to enjoy tax benefits from that. When we were drawing it up, one of the questions that came was, why would you give that benefit for that to a person who lived on one side of the street, but not to the person who lived on the other side of the street? And as a result, we made this citywide, and I think it was a very good move. I was the one that asked for this to be reconsidered tonight at the last meeting, and since that time, Mr. DeArmond and I have had a lot of conversations with both economic development and the administration, trying to understand the concerns and why we really needed to have this. And there is a consensus among ED and the administration about the absolute need to specifically state the boundaries of the CRA. There was a change in 2023 that happened down at the state that made that clarification necessary, and some opinions that said that makes that part important. And secondly, the way we wrote the way the current legislation is written, large-scale residential development, such as happening up at on the west side of I-75 at County Road 99. Isn't being treated as a commercial development. It's being considered as if it's almost like working on a duplex or a fourplex, and that was not the considered intent when this thing was created. So that's the other part of this ordinance that needs to happen, and I recommend approval of this. I'm definitely voting for it. The CRA continues to be a good tool for economic development, and it's not the only one, and that's for economic development, next year's council and next year's and the administration to continue to refine the tools that we use in that space. But there's a part of it for this, and that's why I'm going to vote for it.
Ms. Frishy.
And when we give a CRA, to be very clear, we're giving tax abatement on property tax. And depending on the school district, it's impacting those schools for a period of time that they're not getting the full benefit. But we're bringing in business, expecting to increase the staffing on teachers and what's happening in the schools. And we are hindering that, all to bring in low-paying jobs.
I would argue that MPLX were not low-paying jobs.
We're talking future. Thank you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mr. DeArmond.
Alternatively, we could have no new jobs.
Okay. All those in favor of the ordinance say aye. If your name is called, those opposed, nay.
Ms. Frishy?
Nay.
Mr. Greeno?
Aye.
Mr. Hellman?
Aye.
Mr. Niemeyer?
Aye.
Mr. Palmer?
Aye.
Mr. Russell?
Aye.
Ms. Warnicki?
Aye.
Mr. Wobser?
Aye.
Mr. Ballman?
Aye.
And Mr. DeArmond?
Aye.
One nay.
Resolution is adopted. Any other old business? New business? Oh, old business? Mr. Stashak.
Mr. DeArmond, since you're going to be our budget veteran in January when the budget comes up, just in case, for some reason, the budget is unacceptable and does not pass as presented, on your meeting on January 6th, I'll encourage you and your new council members to schedule special meetings the 7th, 8th, and 9th so that you get one passed. Our hard deadline to be able to make payroll is the 9th. Otherwise, we won't be able to we can make the first payroll because it's 2025 pay. We can't make it after the 9th without that budget for 2026. So just sharing that. based on-
Duly noted.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Old business, Mr. Diarmid?
So 2 weeks ago, council did not excuse Brian Bowman's absence. At that time, we didn't understand that he was pulled out of town on a serious family matter. So I'd like to make a motion to excuse Brian's absence on December 2nd.
Second, Mr. Palmer. Discussion. All those in favor of excusing Mr. Baumann, say aye. Those opposed, nay.
Nay.
You are excused, Mr. Baumann. If you knew what happened, you wouldn't have done that, Robin. Thank you.
Why are you pointing the finger at Robin?
Because she was cackling about the fact that it was reconsidered. Like, any other old business? New business? Ms. Frishy?
I don't know if mine's old or new, but since Matt's here, I've gotten a lot of phone calls this week regarding the benching in the brownfield. Can you give some public update on the big hole and what we're pulling out of it?
So what's occurring is the remediation for the benching. The benching has not started. So they are removing the dirt and they're taking it to the Hancock County landfill. None of the dirt that they will be digging up at the park classifies as dirty enough to go to a special landfill. They should be done. As you can see, most of the work is happening on the west side. That's where most of the sites are. There are a couple sites on the east side, and they'll be moving over to those sites. And they should probably be finished up. They might be finished up before the end of the year.
Okay, so there's been nothing, so for the public, there's been nothing dug out. I just keep hearing, what's the big hole? I don't know. So the big hole's just clean dirt going to the landfill.
No, it is polluted dirt.
That's not polluted enough, but there's no tanks, no nothing is what,
They did find a hydraulic lift they weren't expecting.
okay.
But, so no, they're not there's no tanks being removed. It's just from the 74 soil samples that they took, there were areas of contamination. They dig down, they do testing on the walls, they do testing at the floor. And they're currently open, waiting for testing to return. Once the testing occurs, then they'll put clean dirt in those holes.
Thank you for
And
their.
they will be fenced the entire time while they're open. And that's all being paid for with the Brownfield grant.
And it's a county project, correct?
Correct.
Yep.
New business? Mayor?
So just a couple of quick items. One, our public works crews were out in partnership with the Hancock Leadership class. The city is removing the old Lincoln School playground that's on the west side. That is being removed. And then the Hancock Leadership class is actually going to relocate that to Riverview Terrace neighborhood as part of their project. So folks are aware, we are working with the developer, the East Playground. That was important to the neighborhood that be kept. So we are going to be working with the developer to actually parcel that corner off and donate it to the city. We will then work to clean that up and make sure that in the spring that is a usable playground for the neighborhood. So we did put that out on our social media today because the public works team was out there doing some work. I want to give a huge shout out to our public works team that obviously with this weekend snow was out working very late and very early, and they did a fantastic job. So just always want to give them kudos. Additionally, our water distribution team has been out. We have had, when you get big weather changes, you get a lot of water main breaks. We had 8 different water main breaks around town in the last few days. And so in this frigid weather, they have been in the trenches in water doing work to repair our system. So I want to give them a special shout out. Additionally, with budget hearings, obviously, to all the new council members, if you have questions about the budget, please reach out to us. The administration, spends a lot of time in preparing that and has reason behind it and the things that we're presenting, and I understand it's very overwhelming, but it would be a very bad look for our city to not pass our budget on time. So if there are concerns, I've only had one council member reach out to me with detailed questions. So if you guys have questions, please reach out to us so that we can resolve those and answer those prior to getting to that meeting. And then the final thing, because I know we'll have you guys technically for another meeting, but really tonight's the meat and potatoes. I just want to say thank you. I am so incredibly grateful for each of you serving the community. I know that for those of you that have been on for a long time, you've been really instrumental in our community success, doing things like the CRA or helping with flood mitigation moving forward. Just if we think back, 10 years ago, how very different our community was. It's easy to take it for granted when things are going well, but there was very intentional decisions that have been made in the past that have positioned our community to be where we are today. And so I just wanted to say thank you. I'm really grateful. And I know it's been a challenging time in the crazy world we live in, and you don't always get kind remarks or kind phone calls, but I just want you to know that there's a lot of people that are very grateful for the work you guys have done, and I count it a huge blessing that I've had the opportunity to work with so many of you, and hopefully you won't be strangers. I told you I hope you guys will show up and give public comment, be on the other side every once in a while, break these new kids in, but I'm just really grateful, so thank you.
Okay, with that, we have new business. Mr. Russell.
Move to adjourn?
Nope, we got two public communications yet. First is Patty Klein. Patty sent in an email and she'd like to have 4 minutes.
I'm going to be old in hopes of reading this correctly. Red light is on. I'm Patty Klein, 3rd Ward. First, I want to thank Mr. Harrington for allowing me to speak and for not gaveling many eye rolls. He probably would have gavelled if he could have seen me. But through all the tension, I also want to thank council for being respectful to me in the last few times that I've spoken. Sorry, couldn't see you. But even through tensions, I appreciate the respect you've given me. With that, I'd like to read this unofficial, very unofficial resolution of our own. Some think she asks too many questions. Some think she talks too much. Some think she is negative. Many appreciate the transparency that Councilwoman Frischie provided through her detailed questions and discussions here in council. No matter what you think of Councilwoman Holly Frischie, I'm here to recognize that Ms. Frischie has represented Ward 1 with caring yet bold courage. Every Halloween, Holly would go out on her golf cart and travel Ward 1. Not only did she carry a cooler full of candy for trick-or-treaters, but she would stop to talk with constituents about things that need attention in their neighborhoods. I was present when she took 30 minutes to speak with a resident about their safety concerns with a street carpeted with leaves. I was there when residents spoke to her about a specific home in their neighborhood where there was could be suspected drug activity. I also heard her have a discussion about curbs in need of repair. With every issue, she had me text her the address of the constituent so that she could follow up with the city when problems needed to be addressed. One of the most touching engagements I witnessed was some residents who just wanted her to come by and say hello. I stayed in the golf cart for 45 minutes while Holly caught up with a very elderly gentleman who appreciated her. He told her that his wife would be heartbroken if she didn't come in and say hello. His wife had lost her mobility to be able to come to the door as she had in years past. This year, the woman passed away, and the gentleman passed away shortly thereafter. There were just a couple of many who appreciate Holly's care and attention to Ward 1. Since Holly is moving on from City Council, a few of us regulars wanted to recognize Holly for the good work she did. Through points of order, gavels, and many interruptions, Holly kept her focus on her constituents, and we want her to know that she is irreplaceable and appreciated by many. Thank you, Holly, for your many years of service to Findlay residents.
I have to open it now.
Okay, second, we have Rodney Phillips. He'd like to come up and speak.
Hey, look at this. It's for you. Hey, John, I got my own. I should have got mine back out. Okay.
Nice try. Okay,
I'm Rodney Phillips, 6th Ward Councilman-elect. Members of council and the administration, thank you for allowing me to address my concerns related to the 2026 budget proposal. And I'd also like to thank the outgoing council members for their sacrifice and service for many years. I've spent the past few weeks thoroughly reviewing and collecting data for the 2026 proposed budget, and a clear pattern has emerged. For almost 4 years, our city's expenses have far outpaced its revenue. Revenue grows at close to 4%, while expenses rise at 8%. Deficit budgeting was less impactful in 2022 and 2023, when our cash reserves were much larger. It seems clear, however, as we moved into 2026, an alternative strategy must be called for. If not, the only thing in doubt is what year we will be below the cash reserve. Without change, it's a matter of when, not if. Expenses on personnel have risen $6 million in 2 years, without a corresponding reduction in costs elsewhere or a significant increase in revenue. I'm concerned in speaking with you here today because I find this situation eerily similar to the financial crisis Findlay endured during the Great Recession of 2009 and 2010. And it was a really, really difficult time around the city. If we are to avoid a tax increase or a loss of core services, costs must be cut. On average, city departments return $3.1 million to the general fund. As budgeted in 2026, this would still result in a nearly $3 million loss to the cash reserves just to operate, and that would assume that no other big-ticket items are approved. I'm merely asking that as a team, the auditor's office, the mayor's office, and the incoming council to go back to the drawing board and have the tough conversations followed by the tough decisions to get spending more in line with projected revenues before the first council meeting in January. It may not be feasible to make up all of this money and to do this in a single year, but what we need to do is take that first step in accomplishing the goal. Even a 5% reduction across the board would result in over $2 million worth of savings. Thank you.
Ms. Frischie.
Rodney,
Yes.
I don't know you well.
Mhm.
I've been reserved about you for quite a little bit now with everything. Sir, that was very well presented.
Thank you.
You did a very nice job putting the facts out there, and I have faith that you and the new council are going to do your homework after hearing that.
So do I. I think in the spirit of cooperation
Yes.
across the board that we can get this done. 5% is a good step.
I think
it's
you-
in there looking at the data, and I would love to make myself available, helpful, whatever we need to do to try and accomplish that goal.
I think that's great, and I think it's great that you said work with everybody. It's not just
Oh, yeah.
administration, it's not just the auditor, it's all of council. And I think your concern is very valid. Jeff Whoopser and I brought it up last year at the budget, our concerns, and we kind of sailed through and we let you guys listen to that budget last week, and I'm glad. I have confidence in you, Rodney, and I have confidence in the new council coming in. So I hope you stick to your guns, and you guys, we want to keep that 1% as long as we can.
That's
Mr.
the goal.
Wobser.
Rod, thanks for your comments.
Sure.
And as Holly said, you're spot on with that. We've been fighting for this for a couple years, and I understand the arguments on both sides. And it was good conversation and got voted down. last year when I asked for a small 5% reduction just to get us half of the deficit, and that was voted down. And there's nothing wrong with having a balanced budget. If we have the money, they can always come to the Finance Committee and ask for additional funds.
Yeah,
Pretty
my
simple
goal is
stuff.
my goal is to not make it cumbersome for city managers, city department heads to constantly coming back to council for more money. But we have to find the path to being under projected revenue.
Right. But, so for the rest of the new council coming in on the 6th, number one, rally your votes. See if you can get a vote taken on that. That's what it's going to take at this point to push a balanced budget. And good luck with that. I hope it works. Second of all, with you guys sitting here through that budget process, you got to see a lot of the stuff that we don't have control over.
True.
You brought up the biggest one, which was employee salaries and payments. That was a huge increase, as you mentioned.
Yeah, and maybe not an unnecessary one. I don't think it's a bad thing to invest in people.
Doesn't matter at this point because it's a done deal.
We just have to find the offset somewhere.
Right. Correct. And that continues to go up. That's not going down unless we make it go down, which, as you well know, for fire and police is never going to happen.
Difficult.
So anyway, you guys have a tough job. And the last thing I would add to this is, and one thing that I've learned over the 10 years I've been on council is our finances run in arrears of the rest of the world by 1.5 to 2 years. So when the country has a hiccup in the economy, we don't feel it for 1.5 to 2 years. So we may going, oh, we're doing fine. Well, it comes at us later.
Sure.
So keep that in mind and be wary.
Thank you for the advice. Yes.
Mayor. Good.
So a couple of things that I just want to reiterate. Rodney, I'm happy to meet with you and go through. I think that, there was a lot of discussion about the expense side, but I think as I've shared with you, the revenue projections are revenue projections, and there's a lot of things that kind of happen at the end of the year in the reconciliation process that ends up adjusting and showing. So one of the big things that we said last year is that there's one picture that is provided now, and then it's good to let the dust settle once we get through the end of the year, and then work just as we did last year. I think we've kept our word. As we said last year, is there's a couple of key things that have developed over the last 10 years. And listen, I understand the concept of a balanced budget sounds nice, but when you are just balancing the budget for balanced budget's sake, you do a couple of things that I think are bad management within an organization. One, you create a culture where people are not are in a use it or lose it mentality. Two, you get folks that are then also not creating a culture where everybody has a responsibility to watch expense. If you say, well, council has just given us this and we know that as long as we spend that, then it's all kosher, then we work with literally, we want every level to be paying attention and considering an ask before that they make that request. And then the other thing that we've talked about is that, the government financing and budgeting is weird, right? You may say, okay, I have a balanced budget because I know my paycheck's coming in at this, here's my expenses, and I have an emergency fund I can dip into. And I agree, that's part of why we keep our cash reserves. But when your tire breaks down and you need to call AAA on the side of the road to get it fixed right then, you also want to have a debit card. Well, we don't have that at our level. We need to have the money in the department budget for them to be able to take action. And we need to trust our managers that then they are watching that and managing that, using that responsibly. So, when we go through, yes, we understood that we were taking on a big responsibility of increasing the payroll, but we are a service organization. We have to compensate our folks. And then our department heads know, and you're going to see it as we reconcile, that they're going to turn back 10%. And I understand that then that may feed in. Well, then if you're able to just turn back that much, then why wouldn't it be a big deal to just cut back 5 and then you're really only turning back 5? Well, because there's so many different variables that come throughout the year. And some of that comes because, for example, overtime for the fire department, right? Chief talked about it. he has to have personnel budgeted in there because they did the hazmat class, and then he gets the AFG grant that then gets bounced against it. So then it offsets, but you don't see that right when the overtime hits, you see it later. So I want to say, we understand the complexities. We understand the importance and our responsibility, right? Those are the things that keep us up. We don't want to be in that situation, but there needs to be a little bit of trust in management. And just like we did last year, we're happy to come back throughout the year as we get more clarity on different line items to de-appropriate and go through that process. But there's so many different variables that I think that it would be very challenging for our departments to just go say, oh yeah, we're going to find 5%. Which line item is that going to hit? So I'm happy to sit down with you and work through any of the other council members, but I think that we're trying to simplify something to an extent where it's not as simplified. And I think that it'd be really important that we get through reconciliation of 2025 before we make some assumptions about what our position is, because as we're watching it, I think that we're going to be in a better position. And I would also state, yes, you talk about the expense side, but when we look at the revenue side, we may have budgeted those deficits on repeat. And yes, we have drawn down into our general fund unappropriated cash balance. But from an operational performance standpoint, we have not been repeatedly deficit spending. So from the department operations, and so I think that that is just important to point out.
Correct. I referenced that a few years ago it was less impactful, but I also don't think intentionally budgeting below revenue is a strategy that we can continue with. We're down to $10 million above the cash minimum. Even a loss of $1 million is critical. That's all I can.
I would just say that, again, that's a projection.
I get you.
And I think and I think that this is a discussion we should have for next year's budget process. One of the things that is challenging is that we don't get the revenue projections until after we've submitted our expense projections.
Sure.
And I know the auditor does a thorough job, but it's pretty challenging to budget to a certain number if you don't know that number when you're putting together your budget. So we try to kind of have a projection of what we think it's going to be. But again, there's a lot of those kind of behind the scenes, the chargebacks, the overtime, the grants, Jeremy's department, being counted twice within it because it gets charged to a project through the capital fund. Similar with computer services. So I think there's a lot of different nuance. So I'm happy to sit down with you guys over the next couple of days and talk through and have a game plan of how we're going to approach it. That's certainly you guys' purview, but I just think that it's important for the community to understand, as the administration, we don't take our responsibility lightly. We obviously are managing that and looking at it on a daily basis and working with our department heads to do it. So I just think that that's an important statement to make.
Thank you.
Ms. Frishy. Well, Mr. DeArmond, you've already had.
Rodney, I just encourage you to resolve this in December and not in January. So they're available.
That's my goal. That's exactly what my point is.
Okay, now Ms. Frishy.
I think, Rodney, that I think it's best that everything's done in committee with everybody hearing the same thing at the same time. If the mayor wants to have a meeting, I think that would be great to call one. I would also like to attend it as a current council member if you have meetings the rest of this year, because everybody has a prerogative, everybody has an opinion, but you guys are the final say, and the purse strings sit in your lap. I will also, I'm a big supporter of police and fire. Our police, we need to increase those numbers before we continue to annex into the city or before we continue to do any other type of grant projects. Just because there's a grant there, let's pull money from general maybe and not capital.
Sure.
Think it through. But I think, Mayor, if you want to have a meeting with them, I think it would be great to be a full meeting, including the auditor and any current council members, because I would be more than willing to attend those meetings and everybody hears the same thing.
Sure.
Thank you. Thanks, Rod.
Thank you, sir.
I will entertain a motion to adjourn. Mr. Baumann, second Mr. Niemeyer. All in favor of adjournment, say aye. Any opposed, nay. We are adjourned.